morning, y'all. Guess what we're going to cook today? You know what this is? Listen, I married a hunter. Hannah married a hunter. And my Dallas is a hunter. And my William, and my Bay, and my Cape, and my Isabella, and my Banks. They're all hunters. I'm not a hunter. Anna's not a hunter, and Hannah is not a hunter. But we're the cooks. So this is a deer backstrap. A deer tenderloin, as some of you would call it. I got it out of the freezer last night, and I've been soaking it all night in the sink, in this bowl, with cold water and a lot of salt. And that salt will pull out the blood out of the meat. It's cut already in some hunks like this. And you will notice, let me show you something. Let me get my knife out. Can y'all wait just a second? Let me find my knife, what I've done with it. Here it is. It's in the dishwater. And rinse it off. Okay. I'm going to teach you something about venison. You might be calling it venison. I call it deer meat. And the back strap and all like that. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Let's get us a good chopping block. We might have to bear down on something. All right, here we go. Look at that. I set a pot on it, and I'm sorry because this was made for me. And I just messed up. I'm sorry. All right, look, y'all. Here is part of the back strap. All right. Now, I want you to notice two things in here. Number one, the meat is not marbled with fat. The only thing you see is that white strip and a little bit of white strip right here. That is called sinew. It's a skin, and so what I do is I start just a little bit right here. Let me get you up where you can see a little better. I'm going to push you down and for a minute so you can see this. All right, so here's the back strap. So I'm going to start my little cut right there, and I'm going to pull this part off as I go. Let me get it started. Sometimes it's hard to get started. All right, here we go. All right. That is just that skin, that sinew, and you don't want to eat it. It's tough. But when you get through pulling this off like that, sometimes you just pull it. But I like to kind of cut mine. My knife needs sharpening again. I'm sharpening it all the time. I reckon because let me start at this end. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm doing wrong. All right, you want to cut all this off, okay, like that. And you're just looking for a single thing of meat here. All right, that looks good. Let me get a little bit of this off. See how it's just kind of like, it's just like it's not like a gristle. Sinew's different. Okay, here it is. Now here's what you do, and I'm going to do all my pieces this way. Here is a good piece of meat that's been soaked, and it's just solid meat. And you see a little bit of a thing running through it, but that's just a little hard, like a gristle thing. But there it is. And here's how my family likes it. Here's what we do. I'll get down here where we can talk. We like our deer like country fried. So we take the back strap like this, and we cut nice thin little steaks. Look at that solid meat there. No fat, all meat. And think about what deer eat. They eat out in the woods and eat. Sometimes they come up and eat my garden, which I don't like. But I'm going to cut these in little fingerlings like this. They're about maybe a 1/4 inch, and it doesn't take but a second to cook them. Don't overcook it. So I'm going to cut these up like this. They're going to be so good. We're going to fry them. You don't have to fry them. You could cook this on the grill. Put your spices all over it like you want to. Cook it on the grill, or you can fry it in these little steak things. You don't have to tenderize it. You don't have to press on it or anything. Just fry it just like it is. So the next thing I do, let me get another bowl out where we can do what we need to do. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to turn my tea water on because we need to do that. Y'all know I use y'all sweet tea, don't you? And here, it comes with a whole bunch of, I can't touch it, let me just barely touch it like that. Because I got deer on me. When that gets hot, I'm going to put my tea bag in there, and we're going to do some tea to go with our meat iced tea, sweet iced tea. All right, so, and by the way, somebody wrote in and said, is it already sweet? And the answer is no, it is not. You have to put your own sugar in it. But go right by the recipe on the back of that thing, and it'll be delicious. You'll love it. Put your steak in a bowl. And we are going to put some buttermilk over it. You just want enough to wet it. That's all you want. Like that. Just a little bit. Stir that around good. Get the buttermilk all over every piece. Now let me wash my hands again. And then you're going to salt and pepper it. I turned on the wrong eye. My water's never going to get hot if I don't turn on the right eye, is it? Okay. Then you want to salt and pepper it. So just sprinkle your salt over it. Like that. Sprinkle your pepper on top. Like that. And then we're going to add flour to it. And what you want to do is add flour enough till it's dry. Now see how we've got it wet right now? All right, let's turn over here to our flour bowl. Our flour area. And you can do yours with self-rising, or you can do it with the plain. Either one. I'm going to use plain today, meaning all-purpose. And I'm just going to put some over my meat. This is white lily, plain, or all-purpose is what y'all call it. I always called it plain all my life, but on the bag it does say all-purpose. All right, so do that, and you toss it in it. Now this is when you're going to determine if you've got enough in there. You want each piece to be coated real good, like that. And it feels a little sticky. You see what I'm saying? It's not, I don't have enough flour on it. Let me stir a little more in there. And you don't want pieces sticking together, like that's two pieces together. You see how, let me sit this down where y'all can see what I'm talking about. Do you see how these two pieces are sticking together? That means I don't have enough flour in my bowl right here. There's not enough in it to really coat it good. And this is your crispy. This is your coating. And you've got to have enough flour. So let me get a little more. I'm going to have to wash my scoop. Put a little more in there. All right, let's toss it. And I'll show you how it's supposed to be. And then you can deep fat fry it, or you can put just a little bit of grease in your black skillet, and fry it on both sides. And don't fry it too long. Fry it kind of fast and be done with it. Don't fry it slow and forever. It's already tender. All right, here's how you want it. This is correct right here. This is correct. Let me show you the difference. All right, it's not sticking together. See there? And it's coated. So when you get ready to fry, which I'm not going to fry right now because I'm not ready to cook it. I'm looking at my water, see if it's getting hot yet over there for my tea. You don't want it to boil. Anyway, shake your meat like this to get any excess off, and then drop it inside of your grease. Either lay it down in here like that or whatever. Let me rinse my hands off and I'll be right back. I had to do that because my tea water was getting ready. All right, so your water is hot. So just drop your tea bag in there, push it down a little bit, and then put a saucer over it for 9 minutes. Take it off the ice. See, it's hot, but it's not boiling. Take it off, put this on it. I had to do that because if I hadn't, we'd be in a fix because it'd be boiling and it's not supposed to be. Back to the meat. You could do the cow this way. Let's say that your people aren't hunters. You buy cows, which are grain fed, and some of them are in the pasture. They eat grass and all like that. So that's a good thing. So cut your cow meat up in little fingerlings like this and do it exactly the same way. Do it with salt, pepper, buttermilk, and then you can put your flour on it and then shake it right before you put it in your grease. Like that, and then lay it in your grease. Now the reason I'm not cooking it in front of you is because I'm not ready to eat it. I'm just trying to show you how to do it. I'll be back in a minute and we'll cook a little bit. All right, y'all, I'm not ready to fry all this meat, but what I thought I would do, just because y'all need to know, I'm going to fry just 1 or 2 pieces for me right now. Now, you can use any kind of oil you want to use. I'm going to put a little olive oil in mine today. And I had my eye on here, so maybe that'll be good. All right, so I'm just gonna fry a couple just for y'all to see. But when it gets actually meal time, I'm gonna fry it all. Okay, I'm gonna really do it. But right now, I just want you to see how to fry it. You can deep fat fry in one of these big skillets back here, like I always keep. You do my pies in, but I'm not going to today. I'm just gonna pan fry it in a little grease. All right, let's see if I can tell. Sometimes you can tell if it's ready by the way it moves. All right, the reason I want to fry some for you is important the way you turn it over, okay? So I'm going to put it in the skillet like this. I'll fry me 2 pieces. This will be my breakfast. I'll do me an egg with it. Get you out a spatula. Now this is what's important. I've got it on about medium-high heat. And you want to make sure that when you turn it over, which won't be long, that you instead of doing your meat like that, turn your spatula upside down and it'll scrape up under there better. You cannot turn it over with a fork because if you pick it up to turn it over, your goodie is going to stay on the bottom of the skillet. So you want to do like this to it to get it to turn over, okay? And get you down in here when I get ready to turn it over. That way you can see it better. All right. About ready? All right, we're going to turn it over. So you'll watch me how I'm doing this. And then flip it over and do the other one same way. Now, all my goodies stayed on the meat. Now I've turned it down to about medium. But this is a very important step because a lot of y'all have been writing in and you're saying when you pick your meat up, the good stuff stays on the bottom of the skillet. Well, yes, it does, because you probably did it with a fork, and you pulled it straight up, and so then all your goodie was in the pan. Get your spatula, turn it upside down, and scrape like that. And if you're trying to do it with a plastic spatula, well, bless your heart, it isn't going to work. You need a good metal spatula. Now, I've got several. Here's the ones I use most often. I've got this one right here. I've got this one right here. And I've got this one. This one is my favorite one. I like how it's bent right there. This one is great too. See how it's bent? But this one is what I do my grits with. To scrape the bottom of my pan because this is stiffer. It's stiff. See, it hardly moves at all. You see that? But this one, if I can touch it, it's not hot. Look at it. I can move it with one finger. Look at that. See? They're totally different spatulas, but you do need a good spatula. All right, I'm going to look at the other side. We're going to see how it's doing. I'm going to turn it back over for just a second. All right, it's really ready. So let me get out a little plate just for me. I eat this for breakfast because it's not time for lunch yet. I'm just doing it early in the morning so y'all can see. You could put you some flour in this grease right here and make you some gravy, but I'm not going to. All right, here it is. Let's get over here where we can taste it. Get y'all back over here. Let's get us a light back over here. I always have to have a light because that helps us to see what we're doing, doesn't it? Let's get out a good sharp knife. And I can find my little, there you go, and a fork. And our tea. And turn the eye off. And we're ready to eat. I just wanted to show you how it was done. In a little bit, I'm going to cut up the rest of that steak. I'm going to put my buttermilk on it, let it be soaking. This is so tender. It's deer steak because it's the tenderloin. See, it's completely done. And it doesn't take long because it was so thin. I love it. High protein, no fat, except for the olive oil, and that's good for you. Don't forget to order your third cookbook. We're getting a list up right now. BrendaGanttBook.com. And somebody wrote in the other day, said, I'm tired of you talking about your cookbook. Well, listen, it's to pre-order. I got to tell you about it. How are you going to know if I don't tell you? My daddy used to do this. My mother would get so mad at him because what he did, and I don't know why he did this, but he did. He took this finger and he'd stick it over the top of the glass right there where that joint is, right there. He'd do like that. And he had his finger up like that in his glass, like he was, I don't know what he was doing. None of us children took after him as far as that little habit goes. He'd go like that. And then he'd go. He'd always shake his ice in there. We never knew why he did it, but he did it. So what kind of plans do y'all have today? I'm going to stay inside because I'm cold. We're having a cold snap. Remember, be busy about whatever you're doing. And remember this. The Lord says, Scripture says, whatever you do, or whatever you're doing, do it as unto the Lord. Means do the best you can with whatever you're doing. If you're frying deer steak, do the very best you can. If you're making tea, do it the very best you can. If you're washing dishes, making a bed, loving your children, loving your husband, do it with all your might. Raking leaves. Boy, this is a good breakfast. Wouldn't it be nice to have, I just saw this. Wait a minute. Wouldn't it be nice to have a pan of hot biscuits? That little round steak that I just did, that little deer steak, would fit perfectly in a biscuit. And I've never done that before in my life. I just never have. I fixed biscuits, but I ate it with gravy next to the steak. This would be great in a steak. I'm going to finish eating this. Y'all have a wonderful day. And cook you some, either if you have deer, the back strap, boy, that's the best part. Or you can get some beef from the grocery store and cook it the same way. Love y'all. Bye-bye.